The SEC's hypocrisy in arguing to the court, on the one hand, that the speech is not relevant to the market's understanding of how or whether the SEC will regulate cryptocurrency, and on the other hand, that Hinman sought and obtained legal advice from SEC counsel in drafting his speech, suggests that the SEC is adopting its litigation positions to further its desired goal and not out of faithful allegiance to the law.
Attorney Jeremy Hogan on this one. Att'y Deaton's response might be my favorite brief in the Ripple case so far. It defends his position in this case, defends his own actions, attacks the SEC expert in all 4 pages, and also happens to spill on Hinman and his relation to Ethereum. Bravo.
Hearing the judge, quote, "I hate to interrupt you, but you just said something that seems different to me. You said that the speech was given by Director Hinman in his capacity as Director of Corporate Finance. That seems different to me than what you said a year ago. Am I misremembering? Because when we were discussing whether he should be deposed, as I recall, there was argument from the SEC that what he said really had no bearing on this litigation because he wasn't speaking on behalf of that division, that he was really just speaking at a private event. And there was a lot of attention focused on the disclaimers. But you just said just now that he was speaking as director on behalf of that division." Close quote.
Want to find out more on that and get more insights that would help you while carrying out your due diligence? Stick around till the end to find out all you need to know about the latest updates in the Ripple vs. SEC lawsuit, why you need to be in the know, and why you should be even more vigilant as the end is nigh.
So let's start at the first major order in the case, which is from about 10 days ago. And this is the Ripple versus SEC case, and it's about the ongoing Hinman email saga. As you know, for over a year and a half now, Ripple has been seeking discovery of the emails related to Hinman's 2018 speech, and they have still not received them. I've never seen a discrete discovery battle go on this long. Never. Judge Netburn has ordered them to produce the documents on numerous occasions, and the SEC continues to file objection after objection, and the latest objection was maybe just one objection too far because, as we've talked about in like 6 videos now, the SEC continues to change the story on whether Hinman's speech was his personal opinion and SEC opinion, or more recently, that it was his division's opinion. And listening to the hearing on the SEC's attorney-client privilege argument, which I did, I got a sense that the judge has just about heard enough.
For now, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on bell notifications. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse asks a simple question. What's the SEC hiding as case heats up? So back to the assessment of the most recent court order by attorney Jeremy Hogan, given the after effects of the Hinman famous 2018 speech.
And it was that frustration and anger from the SEC's lack of logical candor to the court, which led to this, the most scathing rebuke of the SEC to date by the court, and very uncharacteristic of this judge. Quote, "The hypocrisy in arguing to the court, on the one hand, that the speech is not relevant to the market's understanding of how or whether the SEC will regulate cryptocurrency, and on the other hand, that Hinman sought and obtained legal advice from SEC counsel in drafting his speech, suggests that the SEC is adopting its litigation positions to further its desired goal and not out of a faithful allegiance to the law." And finally, of course, after 8 months of dealing with this issue, Judge Netburn concluded that the Hinman emails must be produced. Finally, that's it for her. But of course, that is not really the end of the story, because the SEC is now legally entitled to object to that ruling, and that objection will be to Judge Torres. The SEC's brief to Judge Torres appealing the ruling on the emails is due on July 26th, and then Ripple has up to 2 weeks to respond. Now, how will Judge Torres rule? Well, keep in mind that Judge Netburn and Torres have worked together in the same building on the same cases for years. And also, magistrate judges are basically hired by the circuit judges because they think that they would do a good job. So, will Judge Torres call her friend and colleague out for doing a bad job? Yes. The answer is yes, because she is a judge and must adhere to the law. And if Netburn got it wrong, Torres will absolutely call her out on it. But I will go on the record now and say that Judge Torres will not overturn Judge Netburn. Why? because judges have a lot of latitude in discovery issues, and Judge Netburn put together some very well-reasoned and supported orders. I think Judge Torres will back up Netburn, not because of their relationship, but because Judge Netburn is correct.
Now, if you look through the Twitter handles of other key players in this lawsuit, such as Att'y Deaton, we get some even more interesting finds. So, guys, important note regarding secondary market sales of XRP. A lot of people were understandably confused by the SEC's footnote in its last response, wherein it implied secondary market sales weren't at issue in the case. Bull. Some believed exchanges would relist XRP. And further down the line, following the latest and to justify its rather misguided claims against XRP, and essentially all of crypto, while Coinbase and these other exchanges and crypto entities in the US folded their arms and turned a blind eye, the SEC bullied Ripple, even worse, being a bettor by immediately delisting the coin once the SEC filed a lawsuit against Ripple and XRP back in 2020. 1 month after the SEC filed its lawsuit against Ripple, Coinbase announced that in light of the SEC's recent action against Ripple Labs, Coinbase plans to suspend trading in XRP on Tuesday, January 19th, 2021 at 10 a.m. PST. An announcement that immediately kickstarted a trend where all of these exchanges followed suit in delisting the XRP coin. And I must say that even though 2021 ended up being quite an interesting year for Ripple, unfortunately, I wouldn't say the same for the first quarter to the first quarter, as we had on one hand the former founder and CTO of Ripple engaged in a massive selling spree of his XRP holdings, at the same time dipping the price of this digital asset, while we had these exchanges in the US all denouncing their association with the Ripple coin. Things only started getting better when the Brad Garlinghouse-led Ripple team increased its development in other regions outside of the United States, tremendously shifting its focus from the US to Asia, Europe, and other parts of North America like Canada, where it has one of its largest offices. Through these corridors, the company was able to increase its proficiency in the sphere of on-demand liquidity. According to this report on the company's website, 2021 was RippleNet's most successful and lucrative year to date as global momentum skyrocketed with customer demand despite the headwinds from the SEC. The number of transactions on RippleNet more than doubled, with a payment volume run rate of over $10 billion. This is a testament to the product, considering Ripple parted ways with MoneyGram, its largest customer, immediately after the SEC filed its lawsuit against Ripple. With over 20 payout markets for on-demand liquidity, most recently adding the Middle East, RippleNet continues to see more global demand for the product. Most notably, APAC continues to be one of the largest contributors of ODL volume on RippleNet, more than doubling in 2021. So there you go. At the time, Ripple had a fallout with one of its allies in both the traditional and cryptocurrency space. Virtually every entity within the industry avoided Ripple like a plague. What's more interesting is MoneyGram going on to peg a partnership with Ripple's major competitor, Stellar XLM, right after its fallout with Ripple, which had me thinking for a while there, since Ripple was sued by the SEC for selling unregistered securities, then we have these other cryptos like Ethereum and even Stellar XLM, which enjoy the same founders as Ripple, hence a lot of similarities in operational and developmental processes. Now the big question is, how then are these any different from their sales and distribution modus operandi? If we remember vividly, Stellar and Ethereum both held an ICO, while Ripple did not. So under the yardstick of the Howey test, these other crypto assets are even more guilty of the securities tag, maybe 3 times more than Ripple is. However, the SEC sued Ripple on the grounds that it had participated in the sales of unregistered securities assets, even though Ripple never held an ICO, but spared Stellar and Ethereum. Do you still think it's a coincidence? I don't think so. What I do think is that this is a deliberate act by the SEC playing favorites. SEC calls 9 cryptos securities an insider trading case. The SEC and DOJ brought insider trading charges against 3 people Thursday, but assertions cryptocurrencies are securities may hold greater implications. What do you think about all this, guys? Where do you see all this headed? Do you think the SEC already knows that it is certain to lose? That it is almost forced to accept defeat in this lawsuit against Ripple? But before that, it can't afford to accept a defeat from Ripple before it takes down some other crypto platform. Hence, it would delay this lawsuit as long as it can through its consistent refusal to provide documentation regarding the Hinman emails, delaying the expert discovery, and subsequently its loss, until it fully gets a hold of an alternative crypto platform to alleviate and make up for its loss with Ripple.
Happening now, you have said that, or at least your legal counsel has said that they expect a resolution by 2023. Does that still feel like that's the case?
I think that definitely feels like the case. I mean, look, it's incredibly frustrating to be a citizen of and a company based in a country that is behind almost every other country in providing clarity around crypto. I mean, even here in Canada, Canada has approved a Bitcoin ETF. The US has not. I think there's so many examples where the US has been out of step with other G20 economies. And again, I'm not talking about random, small countries. I'm talking about like major economies who are providing that clarity and certainty. As you described, the Securities Exchange Commission sued Ripple saying that our sales of XRP were investment contracts. It's a kind of a nuanced point, and to your point, we fought it. I think it is so important to fight it, not just for Ripple, but for the whole industry. The SEC, I think, is a hammer, and when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And the current chair of the SEC has said he thinks probably everything except for Bitcoin is a security. That's a pretty bold statement. I think it would be very negative for the U.S. crypto industry, and it's the reason why I think a lot of people are moving outside the United States to build and invest in or speculate in various crypto projects.
Do you ever see yourself as a non-U.S. company, right? Like you're hiring a lot outside of the U.S. Do you ever see yourself as a non-U.S. domiciled business?
It should not be lost upon you that Canada is not the U.S. and we're opening a big office here. Look.